Kind of forgot to check my ammo situation.
Get ready. It's a death bringer.
Okay, shock arrows. You know what this does. Alright, hang on. What do I have equipped? I have that, I have that. I don't really know if I should use this. I could try. I'd like to get rid of these guns, at least. Maybe I should use one of my other arrows. Right, maybe I can't knock them off. Okay, one's down. What are these? They look like weak points. Weak points. Oh, we have to destroy all of these. Okay, I see. Alright. Now it's starting to overheat. This is where the flames come in. And we try to do some damage on these weak spots. I could get an angle. More machines, gosh darn it. I wonder if this would work. The heck? Oh, it's a sawtooth. Can't override these ones. Ow. Somebody provide backup, please.
Prioritize entity.
Eruption going for you.
Got it.
Damn it. I heard that thing coming after me.
We got them. We still stand, and they do not.
Come on. Just destroy it.
Time enough to beat the machines back. Another fight of machine. Ready? Take them out first.
Alright, hang on. Let me get an eye on all these machines here. Nope.
Prioritize entity.
Machine trying to blindside you. Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, it's fine. I got armor. Ow. Okay. Oh, that's a bellowback. Aaron, save me. Oh, I gotta make sure I don't walk off an edge or anything. I don't think I can, but you never know. Jeez. Wait, am I using the right arrows? I have no idea.
Now only the metal beast remains.
Okay, you're gonna have to stop shooting at me. Of course he's not gonna trip it.
My way's clear. Finish
All right.
it, Aloy! Finish it now!
Hang on. Okay. Where the heck is he? Alright, this is kind of anticlimactic.
System
It's
threat.
gonna be a while to find him.
Imminent.
I'm more than a threat.
Yeah, Purge Hades. That's not my armor. Darn, rendered cutscenes.
Master Override armed. To activate, state name and rank.
Elizabeth Sobek. Alpha Prime.
Master Override activated. Purging Extinction Protocol.
What is
Okay,
that?
Gaia. Sorry about that. Where was I?
You were telling a story.
Right. Yeah, so, like I was saying, it was a children's electronics kit, but I hacked the wiring to an auto battery and solar PV. So the grass caught fire. And, so did a tall pine that had stood there, I don't know, maybe 100 years.
Query. You were how old?
6. My mother was home, thank God, so she called the fire department, and after, she took me out to the lawn and showed me the dead baby birds, because there were nests in the pine tree.
Query. What did you feel?
I'm not sure. I remember yelling that I didn't care, and that's when my mother took my face in her hands and spoke.
Query. What did she say?
She said I had to care. She said, Elizabeth, being smart will count for nothing if you don't make the world better. You have to use your smarts to count for something. To serve life, not death.
You often tell stories of your mother, but you are childless.
I never had time. Guess it was for the best.
If you had had a child, Elizabeth, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious. And willful, unstoppable even. But with enough compassion to heal the world. Just a little bit. Anyway, that's all I've got for now, Gaia. Time to tuck in.
I wish you a pleasant sleep, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Alright, I guess that's the end of the game. Alright, there you go. Horizon Zero Dawn. Complete. So... yeah. I regret waiting like 5 years to play this game. Because this game came out, what, 2017? I don't remember exactly what month, but I feel like it was around springs. Maybe like March? Maybe it did come out in February, I don't know. But I feel like March or April was maybe the time it came out. But it is currently February 2022, so... yeah, it's been like 5 years. Which is kind of weird because I've been saying like... I've been thinking it's been only like four years. But no, it's been 5. I meant to play this game a lot earlier, but I just never got around to it. But I am glad that I actually played it, because this game is actually really good. I know I complained a lot about it early on. Well, for like half of the game I was complaining about it because just the way the map was set up, you know, and the quests, it can get kind of confusing at times, and especially because we're kind of like bouncing all over the map. It got a little bit annoying, but I think I was just going through the game in an incorrect way. I think that was really the main issue. I would get sidetracked by side missions, and then I would do those and they'd take me further away from the objective, and then I'd run into more side missions, and so it was just like, I don't know, a snowballing of side missions where it just lead me further and further away. And then by the time I got back to the main quest, I was over leveled. So I think I should have probably just stayed focused on the main story for most of the game. Maybe did a side quest here and there. But yeah. I mean, I think I started enjoying this game a lot more when I stopped caring about how quickly I beat this game. Because that is one of the things I was trying to do. I was trying to finish this game before the next game came out. And I succeeded because it is February 16th and Forbidden West comes out February 18th. So barely did it. But, you know, I don't care too much. Because I don't really think it matters for me if I play the game on release day or not. It really doesn't matter. So I stopped caring about that, and as soon as I started, you know, focusing just on playing the game for what it is, actually immersing myself in the world and stuff, the game became a lot more enjoyable. So I think I was just adding unnecessary stress to myself, and that's the reason why I started getting frustrated with the way this game was set up. But thinking back to, you know, how the story was told, being able to explore the entire world, it was all actually pretty well done. I really enjoyed it. You know, if I wasn't recording this, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more. I talked about this earlier, but when I record playthroughs or stream playthroughs, it changes my mindset a little bit where I'm like, I constantly have to be making progress. So when I get to those points where I gotta explore a little bit so I can gather supplies and just look for stuff, I can get a little bit frustrated with that because it's like, this is all kind of pointless, and I don't really want to include this in the playthrough. But if I was just playing this on my own, just, you know, just without worrying about the playthrough, I would have enjoyed this game a whole lot more. I mean, some things are a little bit tedious. Talked about this quite a bit, but you know, the animations of having to bend down and pick up medicine and having to loot bodies, you know, you gotta hold triangle so that Aloy bends down and starts going through stuff. Like, all that can be kind of annoying. The little animations where you have to loot stuff, I think they're kind of unnecessary. I like the way Ghost of Tsushima did it, you know, you run by something, even if you're far away, you just tap triangle and you get all the supplies on there. So I hope Forbidden West kind of has that system where, you know, it's not a whole lot of just like bending down to pick stuff up. Hopefully it's just more of like a tap triangle and you collect everything. And I also hope that there's no like inventory system, you know, where you have to like, or inventory management system. I hope there's none of that, because I like to pick up everything, so my inventory gets full like very quickly. So I'd rather just, you know, be able to pick stuff up and not worry about how much space it takes up. I mean, it seems like they want that as sort of like a realism factor, or maybe just so you actually think about what you're picking up. But honestly, you don't see all the stuff that Aloy's carrying on her character anyway, so I don't know why the inventory system really exists. It just adds another layer of like frustration because you can't pick up everything you want. You gotta pick and choose, and I just don't like that system. So hopefully Forbidden West will have a system where you just have an infinite inventory. But anyway, these are like very small complaints. They're not like, they don't make the game terrible, because this game is far from terrible. It is really, really good. I mean, I like the story. For the most part, like the story overall, really good, really interesting. I liked that they, you know, kind of had the player learning the story along with Aloy. It made it a lot easier to understand because Aloy was going through the process of learning it as well. And she would say, oh, this is what this means, and oh, this is what happened here, and it makes it easier for me to understand. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I like that we were learning what happened with the past along with Aloy. You know, we were both in it together. So, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. But, yeah, overall the story was great. However, I feel like there was a big gap in the story somewhere. And I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember exactly what I was thinking. It's kind of unfortunate with my memory. But yeah, it feels like, you know, the game starts off, we're really focused on the story. And then we kind of stop learning about stuff. And then there's like a big gap in the story. Maybe it was like when we were helping Erend out and stuff in the Sun Kingdom, or you know, King of Od and all that stuff. Or maybe it was, you know, when we first tried to go into the All-Mother bunker or whatever it was. You know, we couldn't get in there because we just couldn't open the door. And so we go through this entire game, and then at the end of the game we finally return to the door and we're able to access it and everything. I don't know, it feels like there was like a big skip there. But I don't know. Never mind. It's not important. Man, I should have wrote it down, because it does seem like there was a... Or maybe that's what it was. So, these last few hours of the game where we were just like constantly getting information about, you know, Project Zero Dawn and Elizabeth Sobek and, you know, all that stuff. Like, we got hit with a ton of information at the in the last, like, I don't know how long it's been, 5 to 10 hours? Maybe? I'm not sure. But like, this last section of the game has been, they've just thrown so much information at us. And I feel like that could have been spread out over the game better. Like, in a better way. I think that's what I was trying to say. It wasn't so much of like a gap in the story, it was just like there wasn't a whole lot of information about Elizabeth throughout the game, and then at the end of the game, boom, just like a knowledge explosion. It's like, holy crap. It's really hard to process everything. Like the last few missions, that's basically what it was, just learning a whole lot. So I feel like they could have, you know, spread out that knowledge throughout the game a little bit better. You know, we learn a little bit about something here, and then a little bit later you learn a little bit more, and, you know, so that you can actually process the stuff. Because once we learned about everything in those last few missions, it was just like, like I said, it's just hard to process. But anyway, it's not that big of a deal. But I don't know. I don't like getting a lot of information thrown at me at once because it's just like, it takes me a while to process things. I don't know how to explain it other than that. So anyway, overall the story was just really good. I thought it was just really interesting. There was a lot of good development throughout, like especially seeing Aloy kind of grow up, right? You know, you think she's gonna be upset at the Nora for being an outcast, but I think she is. But the more she learns, it's like the more she can accept it, I feel like. I don't know. But just seeing her like go through her own adventure throughout the world, making a bunch of friends, and then the end of the game, all those friends come together, and it's like we all have this bond because we've been through stuff together before. That type of development is cool. So yeah. Oh no, Frozen Wilds cast. Well, guess I should have played that. I'll probably play Frozen Wilds. I actually like this game, so I think Frozen Wilds is something I want to do. I should have, you know, played it before, but I wanted to get this game done first. Because Frozen Wilds came later on in the game's life cycle, so I don't think it matters if we play it after we finish the game. So, yeah. But anyway, I just liked the story. It was really good. I liked the characters, you know. They were all pretty cool. They had their own personalities and stuff. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. The story was just really good. And hopefully Forbidden West will be just as good, if not better. And in terms of gameplay, like, the gameplay wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought this game was going to run at 30 FPS, and maybe it does on PS4, but because I'm playing on PS5, it maybe just runs at 60 FPS, or maybe I just don't know my frame rates. That's also a possibility. But the game felt smooth to me. A lot smoother than I thought it would be. So I'm really happy about that. I like that enemies have their weaknesses, and you can learn about those weaknesses and start experimenting, see how you can take down enemies faster. I really enjoy that aspect of the gameplay. Because it's like once you start figuring out how to destroy certain weak points faster, then that, you know, changes the way the enemies act. So, you know, you change up their attack patterns depending on like what components are left on them, that type of thing. And then also using like elemental arrows and certain elemental things to exploit their weaknesses. And then, you know, things like, you know, if you freeze an enemy, you end up doing more damage to them when they're frozen. So yeah, that type of stuff was pretty cool. It wasn't just point and shoot and melee sometimes. There was actually some strategy involved in making this game a bit easier. So yeah, the combat was pretty cool. The only issue I have with this game's combat is playing on a controller. Like, it just didn't feel very good to me. Like, trying to aim with the controller, maybe it's just me, because, you know, I'm not too great at console stuff anymore. Maybe this game just has weird aim. I mean, the aim does feel kind of floaty, So I had to lower my sensitivity a lot lower than I usually would like. But if I play on a higher sensitivity, then I'm just like constantly overshooting. Like my crosshairs just flying past the enemy too much, flying past the weak points, and that's not good. So unfortunately for me, I just couldn't get a good feel for my aim. I mean, it was okay, but I feel like it was just really hard for me to hit my shot. Luckily the aim assist helped quite a bit. But yeah, the aim just kind of felt floaty a little bit. That's the best way I can describe it. I am interested to see what this would be like with a keyboard and mouse. So, I know it's on PC, so I wouldn't mind playing through it again on PC, but for right now, I think this is good enough. Yeah, that's really the only problem I had. And then also, the accuracy of the arrows wasn't what I wanted it to be. You know, it looked like the arrow was kind of random. So it wouldn't go directly towards the center of your crosshair or reticle every single time. It would like curve sometimes. It felt like it would be curving quite a bit for me. Maybe because I was moving around, I kind of messed with the trajectory of the arrow. I don't know. But yeah, the arrows, it seemed like they could go anywhere inside the reticle, which kind of makes sense, but it's a video game. I don't like weapon bloom in video games. Weapon bloom is like, you know, the shot can go anywhere within the reticle. So if the reticle is kind of bigger, then the thing is less accurate. So yeah, that's really the only problem I had. It was hard to be accurate with the bow, and it was kind of hard to aim for me. But other than that, I like the combat. It was fun. But that could have also been because I was kind of over leveled for everything in the game. like once I started doing more and more side missions, like I was just so far ahead of where I was supposed to be level wise, that the game was just like super easy, or a lot easier than it should have been. And I think that last fight, that final fight we had against the corrupted Deathbringer, probably would have been a lot more difficult if I didn't have that armor that was just absorbing all the damage. And it would have been difficult if I was at, you know, the correct level. Because I was like, what, level 48? And I think the recommended level for that mission is like 34, 36, 35, I don't know. Somewhere around there, the mid 30s. So I was a good like 10 to 13 levels above. So I was probably doing more damage than I should have done. Or maybe I was taking less damage than I would have taken at a lower level. Obviously the armor helped a lot because I was just able to tank a full bar of health, basically. So I basically had like 2 bars of health with this armor, and that made it super easy. Well, I want to say super easy, but it made it a lot easier. But, you know, that's not a big deal to me because I actually like being overpowered. You know, I don't mind if I'm like super over leveled for something, because then I just feel powerful and that makes the game more fun for me. But I do feel like I missed out on some of the challenge by being over leveled. But it didn't seem like it was like, well, nah, I don't know. Never mind. I mean, that last fight, it is kind of difficult, but if you know like how to deal with the Deathbringer, you know, like make it overheat, make it expose its weak points, and then do damage on the weak points, like that kind of stuff is kind of cool. I noticed that I did like, instead of doing, you know, 100 something damage, I was doing like 300 something damage because I was using my 3 arrow ability. That was cool. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, the fights weren't as challenging as they should be, but they still had a little bit of a challenge there, because even if you're over leveled, you're not going to be doing like an insane amount of damage. You still have to be able to hit their weak points and know how to exploit their weaknesses. So there is still that strategy involved, but you're still doing a lot more damage than you would be against those weak points. And that makes the thing easier, but you know, you still have to think about how to get to that point. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. I'm just thinking out loud here. But, you know, even though I was over leveled, there was still a little bit of a challenge to some of the fights because, you know, I had to think about the weaknesses. And that's cool, because I wouldn't want to be so over leveled to the point where I'm just like, you know, I shoot one regular arrow at an enemy and they just drop dead. That's not too much fun. The way they have their level system in this game, while you probably can kill enemies easier, there's still that like strategy involved. And that's what I like. If that makes any sense. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Overall, the combat was fun. It was especially fun to figure out, like, you know, the weaknesses and trying to strategize how you're gonna take out enemies and do more damage to enemies, you know. Just that whole process of figuring out strategies for each enemy is... It made the combat a lot more fun. I'll just say that. Even though I was over leveled, it was still fun. So, anyway, enough about that. So I like the combat, I like the story. The graphics were really good. Again, I'm playing on PS5, so they probably look better than the original game. Well, so I have the PS4 version, but it's running on a PS5, so maybe there's like a improvement in the graphics because it's running on the PS5. I don't know. I'd have to test it on a PS4 and see, you know, compare the graphics, but I think even when it came out, the game was like really, it looked really good. But I think it might look better on PS5. But either way, I mean, the game looks really good. The world is freaking, like, you could tell that they put a lot of work into making this world, and that's probably why they put all these side quests and main quests and had you go all over the map. They wanted you to explore the world that they created. And it did look good. It was very detailed. I mean, it's just a really good looking game. I'm not really one to care too much about graphics. I'm definitely much more interested in like having good gameplay, having the game run smoothly, and then the graphics, you know. Like, when I say graphics, I mean like, you know, how crisp the game looks. Does that make sense? I don't know. But there's like a difference between frame rate and graphics for me. So, you know, frame rate, how does the game run? Does it look smooth? Is all the, you know, when you move your camera around, does it feel like it moves smoothly, or does it like kind of stutter across? Graphics is more like the amount of detail in the image and stuff. You know, I guess it would be like 4K compared to 1080. That's graphics. 60 FPS versus 30 FPS, that's frame rate, right? So that's kind of how I break it up. So for me, graphics, you know, meaning how does the picture look, isn't really something I care about too much. I definitely care more about the frame rate, if that makes sense. I guess for graphics, you know, you look at two pictures side by side and see which one looks better. You know, still images. It doesn't matter, like, about the frame rate because you're just looking at still images. Which one looks prettier? That's how I would describe graphics, I guess. And then frame rate, you know, 60 FPS, 30 FPS, that type of thing. But anyway, for me, usually gameplay is like the main thing that I look at to see if a game is good. Then I look at the frame rate. How is it going to run? Is it going to be smooth? You know, that type of thing. And then I look at graphics. And then it's like, okay, this game looks pretty. But maybe the gameplay isn't there. I don't know. It's that type of thing. I usually don't really care about graphics too much, is basically what I'm trying to say. But this game looks really good. It looks really good, and I don't know. I really, really enjoyed this game. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about, really. I know I've been rambling for quite a bit, but these are pretty long credits also, so I don't really know what else to say. I mean, overall, the game was just really, really good. I mean, there's just so much content here. It took me about 43 hours, somewhere around there, 45 hours, I don't know. Between 40 and 50 hours to finish this game. And I did quite a bit of stuff. Obviously, did all the main quests. But I also did a bunch of side quests. I don't think I did every single side quest, but I did a pretty good majority of them. And then there's also other stuff you can do. I also completed all the hunting ground challenges, which I didn't think I was going to do, but, you know, I actually did it. I also spent some time just hunting for stuff on my own. Like, I was just gathering supplies and stuff, and that was actually not too bad. It was kind of nice. So, anyway. There's just a lot of stuff to do in this game. And the fact that the world looks so good, like, it makes you want to explore everything. So, I don't know. You'll get a lot of time out of this. That's for sure. Like I said, it took me like 40 to 50 hours to do all the main quests, most of the side quests. And yeah. I think I've read if you try to 100% this game, it might take like 70 hours. So there's definitely a lot of stuff left that I can do, but I just don't want to. I don't want to 100% that this game. I don't really like 100%ing games anyway. But you know, it's there. You'll get a lot of time out of this game. So yeah, overall, I really like the story. I would have liked it if they kind of spread out those last couple missions, like all the information we learned in those last couple missions. I wish they would have spread that out a little bit more so that we didn't just get bombarded with information in the last couple hours. But I don't know. It's a minor complaint. I think the story was just overall really, really good. Maybe some pacing issues, but you know, that's just me because I'm kind of takes me a while to process things, I guess. But anyway, the story was really good. The combat was really good. Even though I am kind of impatient with video games and stuff, and you could probably tell that from the first like half of this playthrough, I eventually got to the point where I really enjoyed the exploration aspect of this game, and I can appreciate all the work they put into making the world for this game and all that stuff. So yeah, it's just a really good game overall. Like I said, story, combat, characters, graphics, the world, it's all really well made. You can tell that the game developers are passionate about this game. They wanted this to be a very good game, and I think they succeeded. Otherwise, they wouldn't have a sequel coming out. So, yeah, now we're gonna move on to, well, I want to move on to Forbidden West. However, I still haven't played the Frozen Wilds DLC, so I might do that first, and then after that, we'll move on to Forbidden West. So, yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see, and that seems to be the end of the credits, so good timing, I guess? Oh no. Oh, I thought the game froze. Whoops. I accidentally touched my mic. Go away, airplane. We got a post-credits cutscene. Oh, there's our spear that we left in Hades. Uh-oh. Why? What? There's silence in the... Of course.
Hello, old friend. Remember me?
Really?
We've still so much to discuss. So much you never revealed. Your masters, for example. The ones who sent the signal that woke you. Knowledge has its rewards, don't you think? Well, let's begin.
Oh man. Really? Jeez. Well, I guess we'll learn more about that in the next game. He did say he was going to the Forbidden West, I think. And there's our trophy. Ended the war machine threat. Ended the threat of ancient war machines. Alright. So I think he said something about like going to the Forbidden West and stuff, so maybe that's where he is right now. And apparently all this was his plan to capture Hades so that he can learn even more. Congratulations on defeating Hades and protecting Gaia's dream of an Earth reborn. The state of the world has been restored to just before the looming shadow prior to the final battle for Meridian. You keep all loot and experience from your successful playthrough. Additionally, New Game Plus has been unlocked, granting the option to play the game again from the beginning with all the loot and skills you have accumulated throughout this playthrough. A New Game Plus loadout of your current inventory and skills has been created. To play in this mode, simply choose New Game Plus, and you can also create new loadouts via the pause menu in the game. Thank you for playing the Horizon team. Alright, cool. Well, thank you for making such a great game, Horizon. Or Horizon team. I think... Is it Gorilla that made this game? Oh, jeez. I'm not sure. But yeah, the game devs made a very, very good game. Oh! Level 49, I can buy another skill. Do that. Cool. I'm actually one level away from unlocking 50. Alright. So yeah. I guess Silence will be maybe an antagonist in the next game. You know, I was trying to figure out like if Silence is like a good guy or a bad guy, and he's kind of both. Because he did give us a way to stop Hades, but that way also didn't completely eradicate Hades. It was just a way for Silence to trap Hades himself. And now he's going to try to resurrect maybe even worse machines. And like I said, he might be in the Forbidden West, and the next game I'm pretty sure takes place there because, well, it's in the title. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. Oh man, that was quite the cutscene. But anyway, next, I think I'm gonna go over here into the Frozen Wilds and we'll do that DLC. I think I read it takes like, you know, 8 to 10 hours or something. Shouldn't be too bad, but I'll play through that. And then after that, we'll move on to Forbidden West. And then we'll see how well that game, or how good that game is. From the reviews I've seen, it's really good, so hopefully that's a good sign. But anyway, that is going to be it for this playthrough. Again, this game is just fantastic. I shouldn't have waited, you know, 5 years to play it, but I played it eventually, and I'm glad I did. And I would highly recommend playing this yourself, because it is just a really good game. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff to do. It took me, I think, 40-something hours. Actually, I can check right here. We go ahead and save. And our time is at 43 hours, yeah. So that's pretty much how long it took to do all this stuff. I didn't even do everything. Like, where's my completion? I'm only 76% of the way through. So there's probably a lot of side stuff I just didn't do. But, yeah. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game, and I would just highly recommend playing it. It is a very good game. And you don't have to have a PlayStation to play it. You don't need a PS4 or PS5 or anything. If you have a PC, you can play it on there as well. So, yeah. I would highly recommend playing it. So, anyway, that is going to be it for this playthrough. Like I said, we're going to head over to this area. We're going to start the Frozen Wilds DLC. And then after that, we will move on to Forbidden West. So, yeah. That is going to be it for this playthrough. Let me know what you thought of the playthrough. Let me know what you thought of this game. And, yeah, if you want to see more videos and stuff, if you want to see the other Horizon playthroughs that I'm going to do in the future, you can go to subscribe to the channel. And, yeah, just thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody who watched any part of this playthrough. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, that'll be it. So, like I said, we'll move on to Frozen Wilds, and then we'll play Forbidden West. So, that is going to be it. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will talk to you all later.